the job.
Emmanuel Smith and Nigel Montfort, two of London's finest and most abused meter maids.
Studios, it's Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Life's pretty different to how I thought it would be. I never really thought that this would be the role that I'd be playing later in life, looking after a person like George. It wasn't sort of something I planned and thought, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to do. It just happened. Georgie, how's my little teddy bear this morning?
Don't rub my back.
Don't rub your back.
Never mad.
Don't rub your head.
No.
Guess what?
What?
You got 5 minutes. George became a part of our family in the sense that Brian took him in. I don't think Brian really put much thought into it when he made that decision. It was just compassion. I think that was all that drove Brian to do it, was just compassion and love without any thought of consequences.
$1 million there, mate.
What about my eyebrows?
You would have shaved your eyebrows too.
Yeah.
I'll trim them off for you later. They're alright.
Now.
No, they're okay now.
Now. Now, I said.
Now, I said.
When I first met George, he was living in a bus shelter. He was pretty grubby and dirty and used to urinate himself a fair bit. He drank a fair bit, he smoked a fair bit, so he smelled of nicotine and alcohol as well. And he was a bit of a mess.
We were doing the soup kitchen, and George used to come along and help clean up and help us on the soup kitchen.
Yeah. And no one gonna make one noise. You want to come on with the guy now. I'll be there every day. That's what you see now. And see that shit there, look. See that shit there before you sleep. Didn't I, bro? Me and Roy were great friends.
Yeah, we were great friends with me and old Georgie. Me and Georgie, young George.
And Roy missed me now. Because now he got no one to keep him company.
No.
In the shed.
When he was about 5, he was put into an orphanage, and then in and out of institutions all the rest of his life. He's never actually worked in a permanent sort of job of any sort. So I saw Jennifer and told her that I decided to take him in, and I hadn't even really considered that she was part of this, I guess, because we weren't married at the time, and I should have, because we were planning on getting married at the time, yeah, and a bit thoughtless on my part, really.
Georgie! I wasn't really very happy about it. I don't think Brian realised how much work was involved in looking after someone like George. Brian would go off to work, leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I felt this responsibility because there was a man there that needed caring for, and basically Brian, without asking me, had left me with the responsibility of caring for him.
You know, I went.
No?
I went to the toilet 3 times.
3 times? Wow.
Ross took me.
You must have had the trots.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, well, do you want to trot out to the letterbox, please? Yeah.
He's coming.
Huh?
He's coming.
Ready, set, go. He had so much hurt in his life from his past that here he had a chance of someone that had taken him in, and he wanted a better life. He wanted something better than what he had, and he needed it. That was his need, that was his craving,
And obviously it was a craving that was stronger than alcohol and tobacco, because he was willing to give those addictions up to be loved.
Beautiful, that's the one.
I know.
There have been points with Brian when he said, yes, that's it, we can't look after George anymore. And I will usually talk him around and say, well, but look at what we've done. And there's been times when I've gone to Brian and said, that's it, I can't take any more, we're getting rid of him. Get him in the car, we're taking him now. And then Brian would talk me around and bring the human element back into it. So yeah, there's always been times where we've both hit the wall. The other one has always been there to talk the other one back round. We've never hit the wall at the same time.
Jennifer on the hot shower, like, where's Jennifer? Jennifer! I need you! I need you! I need you!
Unfortunately, at the moment, Brian and I have temporarily separated. He has been gone since January, and he's now working full-time, and he's still doing the soup kitchen, which is good because that's his passion and it's what he loves to do. At the moment, we're still quite good friends. We're amicable and we talk to one another, and we're hoping to resolve our differences, that hopefully in time we'll be reconciled and we'll both be sort of happy with the things that we're achieving in our life. But for the reason that we've broken up, it's a personal thing between Brian and I. It has nothing to do with any other person. It's nothing to do with George. It's nothing to do with family. It's problems between him and I. And as I say, we're hoping that down the track we can be reconciled.
I don't think George is the main problem with what's happened between Jennifer and I at all. It's just one of those things, you know, it's just, yeah, it's probably me more than anything really. I don't know.
Nothing ever really turns out the way you want it to or expect it to, and I thought if ever I got married, it would be forever.
When they're coming home, I'll miss you. The Laura wants to know when they're coming home. Oh, hey, you don't know. Yeah.
Hello. Good, how are you?
In some ways I miss Brian and in other ways I don't. And I miss having that other person there as a part of the partnership. You know, like when I moved into this house, the job I put off the most was cleaning out the shed. And when I came to doing that job, I was so angry and upset and crying even, thinking I shouldn't have to be doing this. This is not my job. And I know that day I really missed him from the principle that it was his job. And why wasn't he there fulfilling that role? Well, when Brian first left, he didn't even really know where he was going. And that was sort of why I said, no, leave George with me, I'll look after George. And maybe part of that too was that I didn't want to be thrown of just being totally on my own.
Oh, look at that, there's a handsome man under there. You handsome today? Hey?
You want to clean your teeth.
Have I got bad breath?
Yeah.
Oh, that's because I had garlic last night. I tell you what, I reckon you've got bad breath too.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you
I got no teeth.
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
Ollie!
Come on, Ollie, it's time to turn the shower off. I'd already set my life around having George as well as a husband, but to have them both removed in one go maybe was too much for me to think of coping with. So George to me was something for me to go on with, a reason to keep going, because it meant I had to get up in the morning. I had someone that needed me. I needed a meaning for my life.
Get up, I need you.
I'm coming, George. And maybe at that time I needed George more than George needed me.
Oh, look at you. Look at that lovely face. No whiskers. Oh, you're wearing your sailor's hat today. You sure about that? Okay. What?
Muslim.
Oh, you're all in white today.
Yeah.
You're the sailor man.
We got a pair of white shoes.
No, then they think you were going bowling. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Being a chef, that is my trade, was something, well, how can I do what I love to do and still look after George? It's not like I could get a job and take him to work with me. I've got my own business, and I know that probably would not have happened if I hadn't have taken George in. I've been running the business for just over 2 years, so I'm looking at getting bigger. I'm not actually wanting to keep it at the level that it's at.
I'll go to Brisbane with Jennifer, I'll get up that upper cliff. And we go to Rockney Market, and we go to Paddington.
George, how you going?
Good.
I've got your
Can I
order.
have the tea, please?
George needs to go to the toilet. Oh, okay.
I'll stay there.
You're going to stay there, okay? I'll be
Yeah.
there in a few minutes, all right? He's not very happy today.
Is he grumpy, is he?
Yeah.
Why is he grumpy?
Oh, who knows? Well, I'll send that off now, and hopefully it'll get there Monday. We'll just keep our fingers crossed. All right then. Thanks for your help. See ya.
In having the business and George, it's more difficult to cope because more has been required of me everywhere. I'm just about to make your lunch, Georgie. It was a little bit hard for some of my family to accept George in the beginning, and that was hurtful. It's been a very hard thing because they're family after all, but at the same time, he's dependent on me, and I've tried to liken it to my family. What would you do if I had a child that was uncontrollable? And their response was, well, you chose to have George. And I think, well, it doesn't matter whether it was a choice or something that just happened to you. It's a decision that you've made in your life. And as my family say, well, that's your choice. You've accepted him, but why do we have to? I think most people's reaction with George was, if you can't handle it, just get rid of him. And that wasn't ever a solution to me. People couldn't understand that. And Marilyn could.
Hi-ho, Trotsky's Travelling Circus is here.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
And I remember her saying, well, that's not what I would tell you to do, to get rid of him, because I would never get rid of my niece either. That's a bond that Marilyn and I really have together.
Oh, good. Sometimes I lean a bit on her and sometimes she leans a bit on me, and I think it's good for both of us because most people wouldn't appreciate the challenges that one has in dealing on a day-to-day basis with someone who has a disability.
Now, our story tonight is called Singing in the Dark.
Singing in the dark.
Singing in the dark.
Yeah, singing in the dark.
Okay, and it's about... At the moment, I don't really have anyone to juggle George with. He has been diagnosed as needing 2 full-time carers, and now it's just one person really trying to do the work of 2.